Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This video is going to be about my youth mentor who just recently passed away, and I just wanted to make this video and kind of dedicate this to her, and also just talk about the importance of having mentors and leaders and people who go out of their way to do things for the community. It's because I really want to let you guys know how I met her, how this impacted me, the things that she did. So her name was Sharon, Miss Sharon Denise Julian, and how I met her was just crazy. I was fresh out of high school. I was probably like 17. Yeah, I was 17 going on 18, and I was just walking around my neighborhood doing what I do. Around that time, I really didn't have any plans with my life. Like, once I graduated high school, I was just kind of chilling. I was in a neighborhood, probably somewhere turned high, smoking, drinking, looking for the next turn up, where it's at. You know, like I was on that type of time. Like, okay, I'm out of high school now. I graduated. You know, I ain't got no job.
You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Well, I probably had like a little job back then, but like, you know, I really didn't have a lot to do. She was driving around. What it was she was a designer, but she was also a pastor, but she was a designer. So she was looking for models to be a part of her show. And so she's driving around and she sees me, she pulls over and she's like, hey, excuse me. She was like, have you ever thought about modeling? And I was like, yeah, like I actually did, you know, like growing up, people would tell me you look like a model, but in my mind, I never really thought I could model because I kind of had this mindset that if I didn't see it around me or the people around me wasn't doing it, I didn't believe that I can do it. Like, just like with rappers and, you know, stuff you see on TV, it's just like, that's just on TV. That doesn't happen here. So that's where my mindset was. So I'm like, yeah, like, she's like, I'm having a fashion show. I'm a designer. I would love for you to come to my casting. It was the same day. She was like, it's in a few hours. And it was actually like right down the street at Malcolm X Library, which is a library in my community. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, off top, I'll be there. Dropped everything I had to do that day and I went to that casting. Mind you, at this time, I barely knew how to walk in heels, never walked the runway, like I was fresh. It's kind of one of those things like, what's meant for you it will be. So it was meant for me. She ended up holding practices every week and I would go to practice every week. And she, like I said, she was also a pastor. So not only was she a designer, she was a pastor, and she kind of gave us an ultimatum too. She's like, I know you guys want to be in this show, but you got to come to church every Sunday up until it's time for the show too. You know, like, I wasn't like too much into church then. I didn't grow up going to church. The only like sense of like religion that I've ever known was Jehovah's Witnesses, because my grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. But yeah, so I didn't care. I was like, okay, I'll go, because I wanted to model. I wanted to be in a show. I wanted to get on the runway. So that's what I did. And when we came to practice, she would have us journaling and speaking words of affirmations to us and doing different activities to build up our confidence, not just putting on these pretty outfits and doing our hair and doing our makeup. Like, she worked on the inner part first and then she put us on the runway. And that's what I really loved about the program. Like, I was young, like I didn't know where I was going. And I really feel like me being a part of her mentorship saved me from a lot of things that I couldn't even see. So that kept me busy doing something that I loved, that I grew to love more, even outside of her. Once I was done and I was complete with her program, I went off. I did my own thing. I went to New York. I went to LA. I went to Miami. I went to all these other places, and I continued and I used the tools that she gave me from her program into my own life and into the world. Selfless people like that are needed, especially in communities with minorities, Blacks and Hispanics. Like, we need that, because a lot of these kids don't think they can be anything outside of where they came from. And I felt that way for a long time. So still to this day, everything she's ever taught me, like, it helped. She taught us etiquette. She even just with traveling, she taught me how to pack my suitcases and how to put outfits together and how to, speak at a restaurant, like just certain things like in the world that people need to know. She taught us. And she was very tough on us too. She wasn't just like, she was very nice and very kind and very selfless, but she was a tough lady. A lot of the girls left too because they couldn't handle the, the yelling and but that didn't scare me off. It didn't scare me away at all, because I knew it was tough love. I knew that she genuinely cared. And sometimes when you're too nice, they don't really take in what you say. They just feel like, oh, you're supposed to be nice. You're supposed to say no. Like, listen, I'm telling you this because I care, and I'm gonna be firm, and I'm going to be assertive on what I'm telling you. And that's how she was. I just remember she was just a tough lady. And my first time ever seeing myself in a newspaper, my first time ever seeing myself on the cover of a flyer all around my city, and people from school seeing me on this flyer like, Tony, you model now? Oh, I see you on this flyer, you modeling now? And I'm you got me feeling like I'm somebody, even though I already knew I was somebody. But that just built me up even more and made me want to really go after the things that I never thought that I would go after, you know what I mean? And we went to so many cities. She took me to St. Louis, she took me to Chicago, she took me to Alabama, but she took me to so many places. I remember her telling me that she wanted to take me to Africa, and I knew she would have. She's already been to Africa. She was in Africa donating and feeding homeless children out there, and doing the work and doing the charity work out there. And she did, like, when I tell you she did the work up until the time she died, like, that lady literally never stopped working. She was always helping somebody. Like, she even gave me jobs. She would have me like taking her mom to go run errands and doing little miscellaneous stuff, and she would pay me every week. She was like, I'm going to pay you the same amount of money your job is paying you. I'm going to pay you as well, and I'm gonna pay you every Sunday. And she did. She was always about her word. Anything she said she was gonna do, she did. And I just had to make this video just to give her more flowers and just express how important mentors are and how we need more. And I aspire to be one day. Like, I would love to open up my own nonprofit organization for at-risk teens, children in the system. Like, I would love to do something like that. Like, at the end of the day, doing the things that I love to do, music and modeling, and like, that stuff is cool. But like, at the end of the day, doing work for other people is where it's at. Like, we're all supposed to be here doing something, some type of work to help the world, to help the community, to save a life. But yeah, that's all, you guys. I just really wanted to come on here and share that story. That's it for this video. If you are still here, thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing my story. And I'll see you guys in the next video.